Hi everyone, I'm making this ASMR video because my therapist is making me, and my editor. Now, that isn't completely true, but it's also not completely false. I was going to therapy and I was talking with her and she said, "Why don't you accomplish the things you want to accomplish?" And I was like, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't have the desire to, or I'm too tired, or I'm doing something else. And she's like, okay, so what I'm hearing is that there's no punishments if you don't do the thing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but who wants to punish themselves? I mean, unless that's your thing. Or, as I wrote in my stand-up class, I'm paying you all this money so that you help me do things. You think I have the energy to punish myself? No, that's why I'm here. So the least you could do is offer to spank me. My stand-up class thought that was pretty funny. It was delivered better though. It was, a whole joke format. But anyway, I'm here because I decided to set up a punishment that I agreed to do with my editor. Now, my therapist said, if you don't do the thing you need to do, like, let's say it's make an ASMR video on a Saturday, maybe you go wash your editor's car. Now, first of all, I'm never going to wash my editor's car because he's stinky. No, I'm kidding. Because we live very far apart. But she didn't know that. But I came up with something that I could give up reasonably. Now, you'd think to yourself, if you follow my exploits on Twitter, that I would say webcomics because I love them. But no, webcomics are oxygen and water. If I deprive myself of them, I will simply perish. So that's too much. I don't want to ruin my day just because I was a little lazy making an ASMR video. But what I came up with was Valorant. I love and hate, but love Valorant. When I'm winning, I am intoxicated with the thrill of victory. I am dominating my enemies. Sometimes, I have to be dummy in my line of work. And I don't know if it always comes natural to me. I'm doing what people like of me, and I'm happy to do so. But when I am a man on a battlefield, then you're dang right I like to dominate. But no, I do get a thrill when I sneak up behind the enemy when they don't suspect it and pop. And I win. Try not to be too graphic here, but anyway, I love Valorant. And in some ways I'm addicted to it because when I lose, I'm filled with a primal rage that I have not tasted the blood of my enemies. And when I win, I celebrate in a frenzy of dopamine, nay, ecstasy. And so I find myself coming back to it time and time again when maybe I should, wind down to go to sleep. Instead, I'm in the trenches, trying to hold the fabric of my team together. Oftentimes, people in the very beginning of the game, they show signs of discontent. Maybe someone chose their favorite character and, but they had clicked on them. They had shown interest. They wanted to play this character, and someone cruelly and mercilessly hit lock in. And alas, my teammates are bickering already. Hey man, didn't you know I was going to choose him? Well, you were taking your sweet time, weren't you? I just thought, if you don't have the conviction to hit lock in, then someone who knows what they want will take this character. And to which I said, hey everyone, let's chill out. We're in competitive, and if you get mad at each other, I will lose, and then I will be upset. Okay, we don't want a problem, do we? That's not actually what I said. Was, hey everyone, I think the guy who was showing interest was right, but also I don't want to lose, so can we please get along? To which they said, yeah, okay, that's fair, because he was validated that he was stolen from, but he also agreed that we had more pressing matters. We had an enemy to crush. And so they are like, okay, we do it, and then we win. and that I feel good about myself, I feel amazing. And that is what I'm chasing. So I told him if I don't make my ASMR video, I will not play Valorant until I do, because I am not good without carrots and sticks. Okay, give me something to taste, something to enjoy, something to dig my teeth into, and maybe we'll see some action. If it's just like, well, I could do it, then it's never going to happen. So here I am. I am punishing and rewarding myself. I am tantalizing myself with the idea that I get to, stomp on them kids in a competitive gun game. It's fine. We all have our weaknesses, and mine is feeling like I am better than others. So I'm doing this for Valorant, and to give my editor some more work. You're welcome, editor. I know you. You see me. I see you. You're welcome. I have done that thing. We talked about that thing. So now I get to go shadows traveling, or that goes there. I know exactly where you are. People like it in the game when I can do those little impressions. They think, whoa, you're so cool. And I'm like, I know. Anyway, so when it comes to making ASMR, I watch some like cool ASMR people, and then I go, I could never do that, because I'm not gonna sit down and come up with an actual idea and have little props to make noises with, and instead I just rely on my voice. It is a fun little mechanism, isn't it? It takes us to faraway lands and delusions of grandeur. Speaking of therapy, it's funny. Let's talk about my mental health for a second. Let's bring it down. No, actually, I'm doing pretty good. What I meant to say is I'm no better than any other person in the world. I'm just a guy. I have a very strong connection to that. That makes me humble and amazing, but then I recognize that doesn't make me better than anyone else. See, we circle around. But sometimes when I listen to really exciting music, for example, there's this song I was shown by a friend of mine called MF Diamond, and it goes, I'm a mother blinking diamond. Okay, I probably can't do any more of that without getting demonetized. Please don't demonetize me. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. But when I hear that song, I imagine myself being a demigod and feeling powerful and just dancing perfectly like I'm in a K-pop band. And I know exactly how to move my hips with rhythm. And then be like, you know what? Why do I live in such mediocrity? Why do I allow myself to be something in the mind when I could be a star? I could reach up and grab the flame that Prometheus merely snuck away for my own. It could be my fire. It could be all for me. And then I think to myself, Alex, are we slipping into delusions of grandeur? Are you dipping into the abyss too far beyond your own ability? And I go like, no, Alex, I'm just listening to awesome music. But I get such ecstasy. I can give myself chills. I guess the music's giving me chills, but I'm like encouraging it. I'm like, yes, feel the power flow. And then I get like goosebumps. I'm like, I think it's pretty sick that I can sort of activate it with the right stimulus. Stimulus. Okay. I think that's pretty cool. And I like feeling powerful and good about myself. And I wonder if there's a way to maintain the goodness, the value there is from being humble, thinking, you're just a guy, and also stepping your toes into feeling amazing about yourself. Because there's like humbleness and confidence, they can play together, but then there's like cockiness, and then there's delusions of grandeur. And I don't know. I don't know where the balance is for me. I think oftentimes I feel not so great about myself, and that's because we live in a society that tells you you're never good enough unless you produce maximally, and then even then keep producing for your corporate overlords. It'll never ever be enough, for our greed stretches as far as the sky and the horizon. But that's not true. You are inherently valuable. just because you're a human. You don't have to earn your value. You don't have to earn your right to exist and be happy and be joyful, for rest and to take rest and to recover. You just get those things because you're a human. But our society will tell you, no, 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 no. You only get those things when you earn them, when you work hard, when you're the best, when you stand alone on a mountaintop of the people you climbed over to reach your heights. Then, and only then, are you worthy. And if someone else dares to climb on top of you, then you must overcome them to maintain your worth. And that is a lie that we are fed, that we should discard and throw away because you're good enough. Like I said, just by being a person, you are entitled to love and kindness and value. And don't let advertisements that try to create insecurities and influencers who try to tell you otherwise, you are good enough. Now, it's always great to strive to be better the next day, but you're allowed to falter. You're allowed to have days that, you're not feeling that you're off. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to grow. You don't have to earn your rest and your value. You just have it. Why was I saying all this? Something about it. Well, anyway, sometimes I like feeling like a god. And I'm just trying to balance it all out so that I exist with happiness. Yes, because most of the time I think parts of me are talking and going like, you'll never be loved. People don't like you. You're annoying. You need to be better. And it's like, why do I even put up with that? And even if I don't indulge it and think about it, like, oh my God, you're right, I'm worthless, there's still feelings that pop up occasionally. And I feel like the opposite of that is to embrace the things that make me good, to be like, yeah, no, I know exactly how I sound. I know exactly the effects that I have on people. I know what they want. I know what I look like. I know how hard I work. And that makes me cool. I'm also like pretty funny. And people say, you're so kind. And I feel like recognizing that people say I'm kind feels like narcissistic. But like, no, I am really kind. And I do take care of my friends. And I'm really generous with my time and money, and those are good things. I am allowed to feel good about those. I'm allowed to pump myself up about that. I don't always have to make myself smaller just to be humble, because you can be proud and kind, but also carry yourself with humbleness. And I think what that means is just because you have some amazing qualities, it doesn't mean you get to treat other people badly. In fact, the most amazing qualities involve being kind to other people, being generous to other people, being understanding. And if it's safe and okay to do so, to be forgiving, to be understanding. So, like I said, probably don't want to feel like a god, because maybe gods demand to be worshipped, and that is expecting far too much from my fellow equal humans. But allow yourself to also experience some confidence and joy from the things you do well. And no matter who you are, there's things you do well. When I see someone who's good at drawing, dancing, can make a good meal, like I was going to say cooking, but even just making a good meal, these are things I don't really do, that I don't do well. And so you have things to be proud of. You have things to offer to the world. And I would like you to think for a second about how cool that is, to pump yourself up a little bit, because the world we have right now is designed to keep you insecure and small and isolated, because you are meant to be a cog in a machine that makes the powerful more money and gives them more power. But when you recognize your value, you recognize that you don't need something to be valuable. When you recognize the humanity in your fellow person, then you can experience joy without needing to buy something or to be something. You just get to be. Isn't that lovely? And remember, when you're with friends, when you're with, people, your coworkers, family, anyone around you, that's community. And in strengthening those ties and nurturing those ties and doing your best to bring yourself, your full self into those situations, to be present at them. That's how you find happiness in this world, so that you can be strong enough to resist and call out when things aren't right, when things aren't just. So yeah, all of that coming from the idea that I need to make an ASMR video because I have standards I set for myself and I oftentimes get rid of. And like I said, making this, being productive, doesn't make me valuable. It's just something I want, and I don't need to do this to be worthy or to have worked hard enough, but it's something I wanted to accomplish for myself, and I figured out a way for me to do it. And in making these, I wanted to always talk about the things that are important to me. It feels easy to speak on these things when it's just me, a microphone, and a camera, and I hope you can take away some value from this. Now, for future ASMR videos, I have this grand idea of what it would look like if I was to excel in the ways I want. And one of those ways would be to have little things I would play with to trigger your, autonomous sensory meridian response. That might be wrong, I'm sorry. ASMR. But I would enjoy finding out what that would be, or doing some role play stuff where like, hey, I'm a doctor. Look over here. You hear that? Okay, your ears are working. Congratulations. We'll see. But if I do stick to I can't play Valorant until I make ASMR, then perhaps you'll see more of me. And if it's just me talking to you, telling you what I've been up to, what's on my mind, well, I don't think that's so bad. I'm sure plenty of you agree. It's much better if you hear from me, even if it's just my voice and my ramblings and nothing else. But if I was to delve into other aspects of ASMR, well, it's only going to happen if I make the videos. So I'm hoping this year is the year that I make the most videos. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you in the next one.